Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Eliali in this incarnation, and tomorrow we have the new moon in Sagittarius that is inviting us to find ways of expansion and growth in this great contact also with reality because of the presence of Saturn. This means that we can expand ourselves from the possibilities that we have right now with the tools and capacities in the present moment. But this energy, it is also about developing a vision that of the things that we want to create in the future. And when those purposes are born from the soul, I think that without caring of the circumstances, we receive the resources, the help, the bridges that help us to move us to the next level. And I wanted to leave today because I am so inspired by a video that I saw. I'm going to leave in the description the the story of this man, Usman Umar, a man that was born in Ghana, in Africa, and crossed the desert to go to Europe when he was a child. And well, the rest of the story, you can listen to it. It is in Spanish, but you can activate the automatic traduction of YouTube. It is a very, very powerful and strong story. I was like, it was a great lesson of humility to listen to it. And it is perceived the wisdom that this man acquired through the experiences. So I realized that always in the Sagittarius season, I share, stories of survival because, well, I think that is so inspiring that the people can, transcend those kind of experiences and understand their purposes. And that is the common factor, in fact, of all the stories that I shared before. What led to this man, what led to this man to transcend the hard challenges that life put, was the sense of purpose, was understanding that even though many times we don't know, we don't comprehend the purposes of the circumstances, there's always a for what in the experience. And if we are here incarnated, it is because we still got a path to do, a way to do. And well, as I said, I'm not going to repeat the whole story. You can listen to it yourselves. But there was a phrase that I thought it was very, very aligned. In fact, the whole video is totally aligned with the energy that we are going through these days. But this man was saying something like, the human being has this tendency to perceive lack in abundance, even in abundance. Because those are patterns of the mind. They are patterns that are operating as an aspect, as a way of surviving, in fact. But we can consciously re-educate our mind. And this man learned to perceive abundance in the desert, to be thankful for the ephemeris, I don't know if that word exists, presence, that life gave to him, because they allowed him to live one more day and to recognize that divine aspect inside of himself, the divine aspect that pushes us to continue, to all of us. So Sagittarius, it is the abundance. Jupiter, it is the abundance. And of course, there are the imbalances, which is the excesses and the accumulation. But it is also real that when we are feeding that negative aspect, the focus in everything that we don't have, in everything that is lacking at the present moment, that doesn't have affinity or form with prosperity and expansion. And even if there are opportunities, it is very difficult to perceive them from that, with those kind of filters. But even though we can sustain those kind of patterns, life in its infinite wisdom that many times we don't understand from the limitations of our ego, life still finds a way to pushes us to the change. And of course, many of those experiences are not aligned with what we want to experiment, but it is what we need to experiment. And life is pushing us to, so our soul can find those marvelous experiences, and so we can create a field, so those experiences can reach us. And many times what we see as a failure is actually one more step that lead us to develop our own potential if we choose to keep walking. Whether this is with perseverance or understanding that there are other directions that we need to assume to move forward. And the last thing that I wanted to comment, it is that Pluto in Aquarius is creating harmonic aspects with the karma nodes, the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. And this is going to be perfected by January. And in January, they are going to change sign. So there are decisions and opportunities to go beyond what we know from ourselves. And we have the possibility to face the fears of not fit in the frequently limitant constructions of society, the fears of not being able to do it alone or not being capable of doing something. And the reality is that we cannot know if we don't try. We cannot know if we don't do something new. We have no certainties of the future, but we can have certainties of the present. We can lie on those certainties that we are revealing in contact with our own soul. So I just wanted to leave this reflection today. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.